Yo, what's up? We're back. It's first smoke of the day. It's episode 50. Pat God's here. I'm here with my co-host Black Leaf.
What up? What up?
And we got a super special guest in the building, my man Squints. What's good, brother?
What up, fellas?
Bro, so Squints was episode 12. For anybody that didn't know, when we were audio only, we were an audio only show. He came down, held us down while we were a new show, and we knew it was only right to run him back on video. It was a big episode, and people love that one for sure. I learned a lot in that episode. So with this episode, we'll, with what we know now and how much better we know each other now, we'll run it and get into all that, which is super dope, man. You got so many dope stories.
Yeah. How crazy is this, right? Everyone knows the movie The Sandlot. I got to get into that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like literally something I watch
American
probably
classic.
every week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
classic.
I mean, once a month, it's in a staple for anyone who's a movie. I used to be called Movies. That was my nickname. So like, that's like one of my staple movies I watch all the time. And to think like, yo, that kid, the kid who grew up to make his way through the weed industry, this industry is for everybody and anybody, meaning like, it's such a crazy industry. And to think that your career path and that the kid we watch, and then to grow up the way you did and to have the life where you navigated through LA and the weed scene, it's crazy, bro. Like the first episode, I was like mind blown by. I mean, honestly, your life story is an interesting one.
You couldn't make that shit up.
No,
Nah, for real.
You know what I mean? That's what we find in life with like, when they say man plans and God
LA
laughs,
shit.
is like, you can't make this shit up. You know what I mean? I could never imagine that this would lead to this, but it's cool to tell that story because, a lot of people don't know. And even that my brand personally is becoming more common knowledge. Like people still don't know that that's not just some
person
these guys
using
threw
your
a Squints bag and did this and that's that. You know what I mean? Not like, these fools really grow weed and have been doing it for a long time and are part of the business. You know what I mean? So
and know what good weed is. Really know what good weed is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so, But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Bro, that's rare though when you're talking celebrities, when you're talking anybody that they don't deem from the industry, but then you realize, oh, this dude's from the industry. And then you realize, holy shit, this is some of the better weed I've ever seen on the rec market, let alone some of the best weed I've seen in LA, in my opinion. Like this batch that I'm smoking on right now is absolutely phenomenal.
Well, thank you. That every flower that I brought today came straight from my personal spot. So every bit of it is me. Like that Wendy I bought that, hunted that, picked it, grew it. And then that's a real representation of like something coming full circle from my idea to end product concept. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy that.
Amazing, bro.
Yeah.
For real. How old were you when you started realizing like, all right, I'm going to get into growing?
So I started smoking in like junior high days, obviously not like as a heavy smoker, but I had my first dance with her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Around then and the stories that came off of that. But around like 17, 18-ish, when we started moving around and having cars, when the skateboarding kind of took a back seat to the girls and the partying a little bit, she became like a big part of my life and I got like obsessed with cannabis. And then at the time it was like all like marijuana horticulture and high time stuff. It was the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. So the game was completely different. You know what I mean? And, but I had that mindset where I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking into this. So like I was out there, trying to keep fucking BC packs and like doing weird shit and just trying it out, building little closet setups. And then in 01, I think I got my script in 01 from Dr. Eidelman. And then I decided to build a room. Some cats that were affiliated with Cottonmouth Kings down in like the South Bay. He had a hydro store. And so he sold me the equipment I built my first room with, a little 4-lighter, little flood and drain, you know what I'm saying? And they gave me like a bull rider cut, I think is what I was running.
Ooh, okay.
So, which was dope to have then because it was super popping in like the South Bay, southern Los Angeles area, you know what I mean?
And that's a cool group to be associated with, like just a crew that's
that's pretty. They were popping
for
at that time.
hydro weed,
Exactly. Yeah. Early on, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool. So that helped. It was a total disaster, by the way, because I don't think I was mentally, I was 20 years old, 21 years old. And I wasn't mentally prepared for cultivation, you know? I wasn't ready to put that much time and effort into it, you know? And just had bad results. And then I built another one. And then, you know, things kind of changed.
It's tough. And I can't imagine being, I mean, when you're
get into that. I mean, what, you know, tell us what you mean by that. Like what, it's full commitment.
I didn't live at my first spot. So it was in somebody else's house. So I was kind of like, I guess I was phoning it in, but like I had the basic knowledge of how to be successful at it, but we would just run into hiccups, bro. It's not like now, like I didn't have a troll master that's giving me phone alerts or anything else. And it was still pretty early on where like, you know, you were just kind of setting them up and letting them go at that point. You know, it wasn't like a lot of prune game or doing anything else. There was no like, okay, I understand how to build this and I have all the right pieces, but maybe structurally they're not in the ingredients aren't in the right order. So you're not getting the right recipe, you know?
Yeah.
So it was kind of just a learning curve of like, learning step by step how to get through a cycle and produce some good weed, you know? Early on, that shit was rough. Like I spent money to build that spot and never got a run out of it. That shit happened a couple times where like you attempted to like try to like, you know what I mean? Spend some money to do something and that shit just didn't work out. You know what I mean?
For many reasons, huh? For like, because the landlord, because of this.
You never know.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
The shit could have got, you know, an inspection the next day or something could have happened or, you know, you fall asleep at the wheel and just fucking tank the fucking room and like you can't keep going or like that shit used to happen in these little small garage 6-lighter, 4-lighter setups, you know, that evolved into the houses, that evolved into the warehouses. But it was all just like one step after another, you know. I was passionate, but I was a kid, bro. I had some money. I was running around. I was still acting. I was serving. So like that shit was like, extra shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want the weed more than you want the job.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this job
you just didn't
comes
understand
along
that
with
it was like that kind of job, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's like I work, you know, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, more or less, in some regard. If I'm not thinking about it or doing it or picking up a phone call about it, then I didn't know it was like that. You know what I mean? Obviously the scale is bigger now, but even so, like you can't sleep on a tent. You can't sleep on anything because anything can happen in cultivation. It's the only thing where you can do everything right and still lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can be really fucking good at it too and still have bad run. You know what I'm saying?
Facilities out there like,
I'm getting these for 15, man.
You know? Yeah. I mean, my partners tell me all the time, can't keep changing everything. I'm all, yeah, and we are. We're just going to keep changing it because that's the way it goes, bro. You build them and then you fucking tear them down and build them again. And until you're happy with it, you just keep going, you know?
What do you think about how fast the market's moving now?
Oh, I mean, I think it's I'm enjoying it, bro, to be honest. Like I'm at a place in my life now where like
it's all good.
We're comfortable in who we are and what we do. And I think people have responded enough to that well. And luckily we're not trying to find ourselves anymore at this place. I think we found ourselves as our brands and our company. And we're just going to continue to put out flower and cultivate and do what we do. So it's comfortable for me right now, regardless. Obviously it's, you know, been financially a little bit of a burden recently. But you know, the market that came before this one was not expected to ever happen again either. And because of this COVID circumstances, things changed, right?
Yeah.
And it went, and then, you know, just like everything else in the world right now is experiencing that fucking vacuum pulling back, right? But I think it's good, man. I think that, you know, look, everybody knows what mids is. Everybody knows what PM looks like. You know, outdoor is having a hard time selling, which I feel terrible for those farmers, but just know that the world's market is getting way more knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. They can see, and if they haven't really tasted it yet, that'll happen soon for them too. And everything is everywhere. So the consumer, this is the best time to be a weed smoker, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a connoisseur. And maybe it's not like the small batch stuff that we've been used to, you know what I'm saying? Being part of the culture. But in real time, they get to taste more flavors than they ever have and more different looks. And that's an amazing thing, bro. Like
It is.
at the end of the day, my heart has been with the plant itself. And it's not, didn't start to do this for money or anything else, because I wanted to smoke fire weed and make fire weed and really dive into that. So I'm cool with it. I'm happy with the way it is. And I think that, there's more breeding projects and more collaboration than ever before. And that's so exciting, because we were so segregated from each other as a business and as a culture itself, because you weren't really openly able to speak about these things, and everybody in the game doesn't come from a place where like it was okay to show your hand, you know what I'm saying? Like you kept it like this and only like inner circles. So you can't grow until like there's open communication between an industry, and we can see everything and really like, I see Ivan innovating and changing the game, and we can jump on that and take the pieces we like and move to the next one. You know what I mean? And that's how an industry evolves. So I think it's good for the consumer, and as long as it's good for the consumer, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's weeding out a lot of people too. Not to say that's good or bad, just it's weeding out a lot of people who are going to struggle over the next couple of years. So it's going to come back. The market will come back, because there's going to be 20%, 30% people who end up going into a different industry. That's happening already.
If it was just a raw investment business into a cultivation or just not like a big MSO or something, it's a loss, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It can be a loss at any moment. And that's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so those people don't need to be here anyway. And I tell people all the time, people have tried to offer us money in the past, or tried to be, I want to get into the weed game. And I let them know it's not for you.
Not what you think.
I said, you like money? Just take that stack and go set it on fire or something, and then see what sticks. Because you're better off going to fucking play roulette and putting it on a number and seeing what happens. It'll be quicker and less painful. And your chances of winning might be the same, realistically, But if you want to be part of the business and you love cannabis and you want to actually wake up every day and that's what you want to do as a career, then you might make it through,
At this point of the game, you got to love it.
You have to.
Gotta love it.
You have to. It's hard work, bro. Even when it's just mental work, if you're not physically turning the knobs.
It was like this new emerging industry. So it was like,
it's
exciting to want to hop into. But then, like you said, people find out quick, you really got to love it. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense.
It's not authentic. She knows. The plant knows, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What they say, ball don't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ball don't lie, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? She'll chew you up and spit you out in a second, bro. Have you running around talking to yourself somewhere else? You can't take it. You know what I mean? It ain't for you.
Well, and I think let's go back to touch on that. I think it takes you having a good run for you to get excited about putting in the work. So like a couple runs, you're young, you're trying to figure it out. And then you get that good run when you put in the work, and it almost sets the standard of like, damn, am I now not going to put in the work to get this?
Yeah.
It took it took me like having an excellent run to be like, God, this isn't that. Why don't I have that? And then to set that standard for you to be like, I got to go after this.
It definitely motivated me to be like, oh shit. And I seen a million things that I fucked up on that one. Right. So if I see that many gaps to close and my mind's like, oh, cool. We made excellent product. Now let's see that we can close these little gaps and get even better. Right. Tighten it up. And then, so it's just a constant, like, that's my real drive is to just, I'm chasing the ghost car around the track, dog, constantly. You know what I'm saying? Best lap. And that's cultivation to me. It's just like perfect run. And it never happens. And it's always something, but like just that balance of like chasing that perfect run. It's like the perfect wave or anything else. That's what fuels me in the garden to just be like, it could be better. It could be better. We could get better, So that's, it drives me. I love that. I love chasing myself. So that's really all we got. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh, for sure. So it's like continuous progression.
Yeah. And you go back and you go forward.
Through a consistent basis.
Yeah. You just gotta keep at it and just keep with it and keep changing and keep getting better, Go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then redo it again. But she's evolving, She's turning into what she's supposed to through us. Like, we're just artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're an instrument. That's the medium that's coming through. And we're just, turning the knob, setting the plants, set it back up. Let's do it again.
It's well said.
It's tough anytime you're dealing with a live plant and your production method is based on something that's alive at all times. There's a lot of things like, hey, let's make socks. It's like, well, you just buy yarn. And there's so many processes. There's so many businesses that have nothing to do with anything that's alive. So now you add that factor where 3 days from now, if you don't do something to that, it dies. You can't put it in the corner and
Your
say in a month we're going to come back to that.
Is done.
You're done.
And it could go wrong at any moment.
Yep.
At any point in the game. They can fuck up the end game, grow a perfect harvest, this and that, and then just be storing it improperly in between and just have like a mediocre project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no plant or crop, I should say, like cannabis either.
Nothing.
In the sense of where most things are grown outdoors, or greenhouse.
Yeah.
Like what's grown, and a lot,
not on production to have quality.
Nothing, damn near.
So it's interesting to see
Nothing
that and how far it's sped up.
Oh yeah.
Since the 2020, jump to where, people say what they want about renames, but it's almost been necessary in this market because if not, like the way weed production goes, it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
To the timelines of what people want and how they want packaging to change, flower to change, everything to change.
Oh yeah.
Almost like the music industry now,
they're like
but it's different.
New little kids and stuff. You know what I mean? So they just want to keep the next hot thing. But that shit's the dust gotta settle because this is we're working on 9-month time frames of like creating a new SKU basically, right?
Yeah.
Especially from a flower standpoint. Could be a year and a half if you're actually doing breeding projects, you know what I'm saying? And waiting for that. But if you're just hunting other gear or even just getting a new hot cut that you're going to put into production, it's 9 months out, bro. No matter how good you do, you know what I mean? Unless I can get a bunch of them, but it's just a numbers game. I got to get one that turns into 10, that turns into fucking, you know what I mean? Turns into 200. Now I can run half a room or a row and then we move on from there if it works. And then you might just fucking, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Just start over again. You know what I'm saying?
You get to a point where people are like, oh man, we love this. And you got like an ounce and they're like, when can we smoke
People
one?
don't
You're
want
like, in
that
a couple,
anymore.
3 to 4 months, we'll have a bunch around. It's like more 3 to 4 more months. It's like, yeah, we only have one plant of it.
Yeah.
Now it's got to become the whole room.
Yeah. You're like
crazy.
a year out, bro. Don't get too excited. You know what I'm saying? Like before motherfuckers are like, we'll take as many of these as you got. I was like, okay, when we have as many of them as you want, we'll talk about it later. Like down the road sometime.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah.
It's tough,
It is.
But that's the beauty of cannabis, bro, because there's nothing else like it. Nothing with so many terp profiles, with so many different varieties. There's no other plant like that.
No,
You know what I mean?
definitely not.
It's
complex.
super. The flavor of it's complex.
Everything. It's pretty surreal.
It's a very
really.
grown up. It's a very grown up thing.
You can grow it in the same block, in the same city, in 2 different buildings or in 2 different rooms, and it's going to come out different.
Every
There's
time.
very few things you can make the same textiles in a different country and come out the same if it has the same inputs, right? It doesn't matter if you have the same exact inputs, the environmental, the slight, it'll come out different. And like, there's very few things in the world like that where just taking it to somewhere else, even grown under the exact same conditions, will change everything about it, and it's a high price commodity.
We could be partners running a spot together, and I could go on vacation and the work could be different. She reacts different to you or me or to somebody else, into our energy, our timing. I mean, I have no other way. I usually just say energy because I feel like we all transfer energy back and forth to each other in some way, and the plant itself as well, obviously, But like our timing, everything's different. So you could run the same light, same room, same strain. I could have vegged it for you and gave it to you, but somehow your work it's different than mine because you did things just a little bit different, And there's nothing else that can be cultivated that really is like that as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
Every other industry is kind of standardized, and I don't know that cannabis, I mean, I guess it can be, but not like for it to have its full expression,
Not for people that are looking for the full experience.
Mm-mm.
If you're just like doing it to do it, then sure, maybe we'll see some brands that are gonna be in every corner store, right? But
yeah,
for the people that want that variety and that are really into it, You know, it's kind of like, I guess, wine. I don't know, you would say, like something like that, you know,
Yeah.
where there's complex depth into what you could take it to by how experienced you are.
I think that there's going to be the cool part about cannabis is I think there's a bigger connoisseur market than wine has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that it'll
there's more
lean
variety.
more towards the craft side of it because people will right away want to experience a higher version of it than like there's a good portion of the market. I'm not sure how much, but I'm sure it's in my brain would just say like 70 to 80% of wine drinkers will never evolve a wine palate to know the difference between this or that, or want to even jump up to a Camus or then another level of like boutique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There ain't too many sommeliers. I think there will be more wannabe weed sommeliers than there will be like, you know what I mean? Or people that are passionate about it that like, I think we have a better market for that, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like
Hands
more
down.
people are hip
It's
on
more
it.
variety. It's endless creations.
It's cool.
It's batch by batch.
Yeah.
It's another thing that's like,
Yeah.
you know, you really can't compare even the
This vineyard throws
strain
the same
when it's
grapes.
like exactly.
This vineyard doesn't. These grapes change constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Evolving creative space.
Was
Yeah, you
there
said
a
it well.
guy around you at the time when you first started growing that sparked that, like, who changed it for you, sparked some passion in you? I mean, meaning like just was like, had the fire weed all the time and you were always like, damn, this guy's like, was there, you know what I'm saying? The motivator. Was there that guy for you? Or was it kind of like, I got to figure this out on my own?
I mean, Manny put me on, bro. That's what it is from Green
Okay.
Dragon. Manny put me on, dog. You know,
Gotcha.
I ran the shop for him.
Shout out to Manny.
Yeah.
Green
shout
Dragon.
Shout out Big Manny.
Green Dragon. That's a staple.
Realistically, Manny gave me an opportunity to see things at scale super early in this last 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So busy ass shop, couple hundred lights on site, mad concentrate. We were kind of running the whole wholesale thing. We were one of the first ones with the oil, you know, like good oil,
Fire OG.
gold oil, like OG, big time. Yeah. So and I ran the shop, bro. So I knew all the players and I knew the whole game, and I had my finger on the pulse, homie, of the northern LA scene. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that was a great like light speed education of like, you know, I don't even think people knew like how good of an opportunity that was for me, because at a time still when like growers didn't know each other, you know, certain groups knew each other, but we knew everybody because they were bringing work into the shop.
Damn.
So I could almost like, not only could I pick everybody's brain because they respected it and I was buying work, but I could actually move the game into a certain direction because I could be like, yo, we think you should do this. And we think that, you know, you should do this. And if you do this, then, you know, it would be mutually beneficial for us. And, you know, as a cultivator, all you want is a solid connect to buy the product. And it gave me a really good opportunity to start like, you know, when people didn't know what other people were doing, I knew what everybody was doing because they were bringing me work. I was sitting there looking at the packs. I'd be like, damn, what'd you do different, dog? What's this? You know what I'm saying? Or what's that? Like every little step that we had or little thing was because I got that little multiple experience from running retail, you know?
And now you're seeing buyers.
You know, big shouts to Manny. I mean, don't get me wrong. We together created something cool over there. And I was as much of a part of it as he was, but he did give me the keys to the castle to fucking really become who I am today in this cannabis industry. You know what I mean? So
That's fucking
shouts
dope.
to the homie for putting me on and giving me the opportunity.
Is that how you, when you started your first grow, is that how you were like, I'm gonna start getting into the growing in?
No, I was already growing. So I came to Manny growing already. I came to sell him some packs through like a common friend at the shop. And then at some point, my boy had known him for years, you know, and I was just off being Chauncey, doing my own thing, trying to play cards or trying to grow weed or trying to be, you know, whatever it was at the moment. And then at some point, my boy Dietrich was like, he told Manny, yo, I think that he was transitioning from one place from their Van Nuys store to the Varna spot that they're at now. And he was like, I had took him a pack and he was like, I think that you guys could be really good for each other. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, my boy has some a skill set that would definitely, you know, help out. And that was it. So I
Big
thought that it was a
ups.
good opportunity for me as well. So I went to see Manny about it, and then started out like bud tending and being on the floor, and then managing, and then, you know, into like real managing, which is like overseeing a micro business basically. You know what I mean? You know, you're familiar with this. So we had a big clonery on site. Like
Yep.
I was doing things that people didn't get to do yet. You know what I mean? I'm carrying any given moment. I might have 1,000 grams of shatter in my hand, or fucking trays on trays of OG cuts coming down the stairs to fucking right out to the patients. You know what I mean? So it was a really fast paced accelerator, you know?
And so people know too, this is in the mecca of cannabis in the Valley, and a staple in the Valley. Just to give you like, you know, this isn't just like another shop in LA. This is like one of the top shops in LA that puts out genetics, flower, extracts. Their OG extracts when we came to LA were already like, you got to try their OG. Like you know, a decade later, still known for their OG extracts, you know, off their in-house OG strains.
Yeah.
I still keep a cut of their in-house OG, like legendary shop, just for reference for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah, it was a big opportunity.
So, but
At the perfect time.
gambling came in, was still in play, you're saying. So you still played cards back then?
It took a backseat to cannabis once I was on the wheel. You know what I'm saying? And when I say on the wheel, of like, once I lost grip of the hamster wheel that just continued to fucking, then I got bored of gambling because it didn't entertain me anymore. You know what I mean? And I didn't need the money from it. So it became something that wasn't worth my time anymore. I actually just got back from Vegas though. I just played a WSOP tourney over the weekend, and it was my first time playing a tournament in like 7 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So I played the housewarming, which is like their $500 first event of the series. So it's a low buy-in, but they got 18,000 players in 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So first place ended up being like 700,000, but it went over the guarantee, and it was like a 8.8 million prize pool, you know? So it's a slot machine.
Explain that. Like, how does that work?
Okay. So they do 4 day ones basically, and you can re-enter. You can re-enter once a day, but it's like a big tournament, and the tournament is pretty fast for people that don't know that, like, tournament speed. So it's kind of like a turbo structure, but it's really good value because there's nowhere else that you're going to put $500 in and run good for a few days and end up with 700 racks, you know? So I went out there to Vegas to play that, and I ended up cashing. I ended up 656 out of 18,000 players from all those day ones. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's 4% of the field, bro. It's great. I got unlucky on day 2 and I never won a hand the next day, and that was it. You know, lines caught up and I was out, but it felt good to be back there playing tournaments. Tournaments are fun.
You take smoke breaks while you're playing, or no?
I did. So luckily they moved the World Series to the fucking Paris and Valleys now from the Rio, because they sold the Rio property. And now, so they have a smoking floor in Paris. So yeah, I was fucking roasting in my room, bro. It's still comfortable. Wow. You can go right down and then go up on a break and just be chilling, you know? It's a beautiful thing, because the Rio was like no man's land, bro. It was Pokerville during the summer, but like there ain't shit to eat over there. And you don't want to stay there if you're from out of town. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and you would be stuck because you can't leave and come back if you're in the middle of a tournament. You got like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours for a dinner break, you know?
Damn.
Like, but if you could just walk up to your room, you're chilling, you know? So it's good for a smoker.
That's
good venue change.
Yeah. That's crazy. It went on at the Rio for so long, I guess. You know?
Yeah, because you don't even think about it. But that's all the Rio was for, really, was for poker, you know? But to come back around, there was a period of time in my life where I was playing tournaments for a living. Yeah. Wow. I had somebody staking me, and I was, you know, I final tabled a good amount of, you know, like lower buy-in tournaments, you know.
What do you feel about the poker crowd? Because, you know, it's a big scene.
Yeah, it's huge.
LA especially.
Yeah.
You ever get into that?
It's hit or miss. So I was in it when I was young. Yeah. I was involved, you know. I played tournaments every day.
You see some people there,
bro. You know what I'm saying?
It'll surprise you who you see at these games.
Some of them are still around. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And then there's some big players and all types of different walks of life and different people. Yeah. I like poker crowd, bro. Poker's cool to me because it calms my brain and it takes me away from everything else and makes me focus on one thing. And I'm definitely a tournament player. I prefer to play tournaments because there's a structure to them, and there's like a strategy or a million different strategies. Cash game's like a totally different animal, you know?
What do you think explain the difference
between cash games and tournaments? I mean, a cash game is different in the sense that there's no like a tournament, the blinds go up and they continuously get higher. And there's a cap on how much you can win and a cap on how much you can lose because you have an entered amount. You know what I'm saying? And the time clock is forcing the action. So it continually speeds up because the blinds keep going and you got to keep moving, you know? And a cash game, you can have ultimate strategies too. You can have a dude that plays real fast or a dude that plays real slow, but the blinds are always the same and there's always going to be another hand. And it's a really methodical like grind of like, you know, just trying to get big hands in together and make money really, you know?
This is like chess and chess in the park. With
Exactly,
the timer
with
where
the
you're
time
like
clock where,
spotting
like,
people around you and
Yeah. And it's like, really, it's like chess and then chess in the park on crack. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's how it's done actually. But yeah.
Pretty yeah, true.
Oh, fuck.
But, you know, it was cool to play again. But once again, I think I'm at a point in my life where like with the family and the business, I can't focus on anything else because it's go time over here. So that's all that is, you know? It's nice to get away and it took my mind off of work for like, I was out there for 5 days and that was really nice because I haven't taken like a break from mentally.
Yeah.
Like not
you
on
could
my
be on
phone or not
vacation and
moving.
still like
I'm still working though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always. Like it's there in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's certain times where I get to shut off and it's nice to come back fresh, you know?
This industry is very different from anything else. I mean, you're always hunting, just like we were just talking about before lights, camera, action. It was like you're going through like, yeah, this is an ever evolving industry. People got to get used to like, you're never going to just be able to grow one strain or just be able to do this or just be able to sit on your hands.
And you just like, there's no time. It's in constant. That's why I call it like the hamster wheel because it's in constant motion, bro. There's no getting off once it starts. And like, if I'm doing a movie or a project, you have a start and you have a finish and you have to do this in between. And then even when you're acting and you're going on auditions constantly, but there's a point where you're like, yo, I'm good for this time period. I don't have anything to think about really. You know what I'm saying? This is like, you're the project manager, the project creator, the everything. So it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I like that though. That's what always drove me is like, back in the day at the shop, it would be just a fucking fat ass dab of some OG oil and then fucking gone, dog. Like just bing, 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 you know what I mean? Helping patients, clones, this, back in the grows, that. I like, my mind works well like that. So.
Well, I mean, it shows because look, now they're opening up multiple shops and you're finding, I mean, great keepers, bro. This Wendy strain is absolutely phenomenal, dude. This is my second joint. I'm plowing through it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, so I think I got her at like Emerald Cup a few years back and then popped it and only had one pheno. So it was an easy pick. And then ran a couple plants of her and had this little partial. And this is how I pick strains is like, I'll run something new or something that I bought and then try to run it. And then like, I know that I can constantly be smoking new flower or people give me flower constantly. And then I have enough of our own new shit that I never have to, like, I can't even smoke the weed that other people give me really. You know what I mean? I just don't have enough time or enough lungs left to do it. And if I keep going, so Wendy, I just kept going back to, you know what I mean? And it was just a little partial with some little crumbly ass nugs. And if I could be smoking brand new fire, fresh as fuck constantly, but I keep going back to this little fucking rumpled up turkey bag somewhere. Like, okay, she worked. Yeah. Put her in again. And, put her in again. Okay, she might work for production. And then we got to see her like over a year evolve into, what she is now, which is starting to become, something we can hopefully keep for a while.
Yeah. Absolute fire.
What's your setup like? Like, what are you running in the grow?
So we run Rockwool. We're from LA, we're from the Valley, so it's always been Rockwool for us. I've ran cocoa setups before, but it's not like our bread and butter, Right now we run Rockwool on slabs. A pretty simple fertilizer line and drip system. Netafilm.
Nice.
Netafilm was a game changer. But yeah, that's our setup. We have rooms of every type of fucking lights you can imagine. We ran dim lux, mostly double-ended, and then we've been on Lux LEDs, but you know, Lux double-ended, Gavita double-endeds. You know, I find differences in all of them, but I've ran all those rooms, so I kind of know what it is and how. Yeah.
What lights you like the Lux?
I think that Lux double-ended produced the best flower in the game. You know what I mean? I have since I had dim Lux, Gavitas, and Lux double-ended all at my own personal spot where I seen years worth of rooms, you know, 3 years worth of rooms out of each one. And with strains that we run continuously. And the rooms that I like the flower of the best are the Lux double-ended rooms.
See,
You know
and
what I
that's
mean?
the key, that I like the flower of the best. No, like, well, we pulled the most out of there, or we did this. It's like
they yield better than most too.
There
I mean,
you go.
The Gavita
It goes
and them will
hand
go
in
back
hand.
and forth with like different things. So the Gavita
Yeah.
is more of a side light, right? Because of that reflector. It's more of a side light setup where you get cross light and you want to light the room.
Mhm.
And a Lux is more of an old style reflector that is more like our old single-ended HPS days where you were lighting the table. You know what I mean? So, and I think that, you know, single-ended Hortilux still throws the best weed that you'll ever grow. You know?
I
we
agree.
used to
Spectrum.
sit the fucking table, they're 6-8 inches off the fucking tables in the houses, bro, and in the old setups, even at Green Dragon, and that shit grows fucking fire, bro.
Mhm.
Big
Raptors.
ass, fat ass, fucking Raptors or Washingtons. Washingtons were my favorite. That's it, bro. That shit grows fire ass
Super
weed.
close.
You know, and the rooms look so different because they're so much more dim than they are now. You know, like the LED rooms are super bright, and even the double-ended rooms were still bright as fuck. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm talking wall to wall. These old rooms, they were dark, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
you're
tables were
about
lit.
that. That's
The lights were
crazy.
dropped real
The
low
lights were
too.
dropped real low, so they
Look
were
more
on,
like
they
the
were on the
movies.
canopy. It looked like what you would think of in like Pineapple Express or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
was a little cheesy version of it,
Yeah.
but like
Mhm.
you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the dimness of it, the lighting of it.
No,
you know?
it's true.
You couldn't shoot a film in a new in a
Yeah,
new
you'd
spot.
have to have lenses. And,
Yeah, that shit had bad filters on it. Be
Photographers freak out when you have them come shoot the grow. They're like, "Oh, my equipment! Oh God!"
Yeah.
because there's so much light. They're like, "Can you turn this off? Can you turn that on? Can you double, triple?" It's like,
Yeah.
holy hell! Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't make for a good set. You know?
I agree with you totally, man. I think, you know, and this is the conversation having a lot behind the scenes is a lot of the industry, the products are going all production based, meaning like more how much weed can we get off of this one plant and how cheaply can we do it versus trying to say, I like finding the best weed, finding weed that you're like, I love smoking this. I would go back to this over and over again. So like, this is what we're going to put out.
That's cool. Let them do their thing. I already know that's not the model, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's for them to find out.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm not going to sit here and give these fools game because you guys got too big of a platform anymore to like elaborate on that for all these MSOs. Like you heard what Squint said?
Give them some game, Squints.
For real. I know.
You know,
They need it.
I'll drop a little bit for like for the other cats, but we can't give too much out for these cats.
There's a lot of
But,
tent growers watching too, you know?
yeah, like, you know, I think that we've seen that there's an ass for every seat now. And that, you know,
I like that.
they want to race to the bottom. That's cool too, you know?
Mhm.
It's not a good, I know it's not a good model, but you know, there will be SKUs that develop, you know, that work and that can be mass produced, and that's fine. I'm with that too. I think that that's something that's needed in a market to have a market, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's cool too. But that's not going to be my
Forte.
no, because I just, you know, I want it to be
You don't smoke it. So
Yeah. I mean, I and also like, I know that nothing lasts forever because my palate changes and it doesn't last. Like, you know, before Wendy, I loved the rainbow chip and I'll still smoke it now and it still smokes fire every time I hit it, but I'm not running to her. You know what I'm saying? Like with my arms open, like I was with something else. So that's me as a smoker wanting, you know, I know that my palate changed. It used to be OG and then I fell in love with cookies and then you know what I mean? Like, it has evolved in that thing from like, that's what drives me though. It's like, oh, what's next? You know what I mean? A totally different wave, a different profile. Sometimes things come back, but you know, I like to keep it moving and on to the next.
I think it's smart when you're trying to find a keeper and you got a bunch of jars in front of you because you guys are ever evolving and ever hunting stuff. I know you and Foreigner, you guys, I love following both of you because I love watching the garden stuff you guys do. And what do you look for in a keeper? Like, you got a bunch of jars in front of you. Are you just looking for stuff that you enjoy smoking, or is it like?
I mean, I would love to just look for things that I enjoy smoking, but sometimes it can be like you get lucky, or sometimes she doesn't check all the boxes, and that's never going to make it to market. And it's tough because, it's a production plant also. And there is like thresholds that you have to hit to make it worth putting this into production. And if it's too slow of a veg, or it doesn't really work with your schedule, or like, it has to hit all of these marks. So, that's the tough part about it. There's always something that was better in anything I hunt that you're never going to see. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And it could happen by chance. Like the rainbow chip cut we had a better one. And for whatever reason, it was like a weaker of the two plants. And then I just lost it the next couple of runs, and she was gone forever, bro. But it was actually a better looking and smoking version. You know what I mean? Crazy. And that's the way it is.
Yeah. Same with Bubba Kush. When Kenshi he said there was actually a better original Bubba Kush, but we lost it and it died.
That's it.
So the Bubba we all know is actually the B, the B lesser version of the Bubba. But it just shows you. Yeah.
That's the way the game goes,
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like with the Wendy, I got lucky. That was one, bro. There was only one pheno. I didn't have to hunt it, or like, you know what I mean? We literally had one thing that made it into flower from that pack. It was a single seed pack. A single seed pack of fem seeds. So it's
wow.
Yeah. And I only had one, and that's what I ran, and I ended up liking her, and that's that.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
You know what I mean? Or maybe I'll hunt fucking 2-3 dozen seeds and not find anything.
Yeah. That happens a lot too.
Yeah.
That's what people don't get.
I do have some I have some strawberry milkshake from Purely Meltly seed company. So it's strawberry milkshake. I'll have to look up the exact lineage on it, but strawberry terp. But I got like 25 phenos of that in flower right now. And she threw some crazy, she's gonna dump hash, bro. I'm talking just fucking guitar strings off of like 8 of them, bro. So that was dope. She got real big and nice too. Solid production plant.
I like that name.
Strawberry milkshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna look up the cross
that
on it.
That is rosin.
Cool.
That sounds
it's dope. It's super cool.
Proper.
Strawberry terps.
Yeah,
I'll show you guys some pictures of it too. They look gnarly. It threw big ass fucking donkeys too. Just fucking I have another one that's crazy in that room too, under some LEDs, and it was root beer times Panama Red out of Michigan, and super train wrecky, super hazy, fucking big dog. I'm talking 8 foot tall and just stacked flower top to bottom like this big,
Crazy genetics.
Yeah. Monster, bro, and just reeking like train wreck, dog, just like peppermint,
Ooh,
interesting. Yeah, and that's making a big comeback in the rosin scene as well, It's cool. You know what the beauty of it is? So we say some things don't make production for flower production. And oddly enough, a lot of things that you like to smoke in flower don't hash well. And then a lot of things you wouldn't smoke in flower do hash well. And it's cool that if something dumps hash, you can grow a certain variety just to make hash with, and the market will make it well received. And then it'll be a decent, profitable plant for that next thing. You couldn't grow it as flower and make it profitable. It wouldn't be one that you would run with. But with this other market that appreciates a different type of terp also as well, right?
Yeah.
Because in the hash market, you could really, there's definitely like an ask for every seat there, right? Because so many different profiles you can get from a dab, as like you find that certain terp profiles work really well in flower, We like candy, we like gas, we like cream, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like the OG to cookies, to gelato, to sherb, to Z, to like everything that we're on. That's all those waves. And you notice that there can be a new reinterpretation of that, but that's what we all go back to. Smokes in a joint, smokes in a wood, smokes in a joint, smokes in a wood, smokes out of a bong with the gas, right? But in hash, it's like papaya, fucking melon. You like the garlic, you like the gas,
strawberry
you appreciate
banana.
The strawberry banana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You showed somebody strawberry banana flower, like, but in concentrate, that would have been a winner for us at the shop,
Mm-hmm.
But in flower version, ain't nobody going to buy that shit, bro. It's not something that's pleasurable to smoke.
Yeah. Most hash strains aren't.
Yeah.
It's rare that you find a hash strain that is a good flower smoke.
Ice cream cake.
There you go. I would say garlic cocktail.
Garlic cocktail.
But rare. We tried honey banana. It
don't
looks
mean like-
crazy in
like
flower.
bad ice cream cake. I mean like really good ice cream cake.
Yeah.
Because I could still go throw that cut in a room and give you a bag that looks better than everything in the game right now. And motherfuckers would be like, yeah, we'll take all of those. They might not call it ice cream cake, but that shit crushes, bro. Dumps hash, smokes good, she's beautiful, you know.
It has a bunch of different names.
I never really liked the terp profile in flower.
Of the cake.
Yeah.
It's flat. It's cakey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's flat. It doesn't have the complexity of the gelato, but since it's gone now, if it got reintroduced to you in a good way, you would appreciate it still.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I'm sure the bags is still,
Yeah,
it's right
yeah.
there with, just like Runts is undeniable.
Yeah. I mean, she smokes way better than the cake does. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
But
it's like
every
a junior
year-
version, if you ask me, the ice
Yeah.
cream cake.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Athena, one of the #1 nutrient companies in the world. Athena Nutrients. Blackleaf, tell them how you use IPM in your garden.
Athena IPM, one of the best products out right now for IPM management. This product passed testing for legal facilities and is what I use in my garden. Blackleaf approved, Athena IPM.
This product and all other products, AthenaAG.com. Go check them out. Appreciate you guys.
Hello guys, Alex here, owner of Mango Tech Store. We are the house of Trollmaster. We are the house of ThinkPro. Whether you're growing commercially, growing at home, or growing in a tent, we got you. Come see us. We got the best pricing, best customer support. Nobody can beat us. Mango Tech. Like I said before, with the House of Trollmaster and with the House of ThinkPro, got the new lifters in-house. Order up.
But there's every year, or a year or two, right? Or three, where there's like a 2 to 3 year window where there's a strain like a purple punch, like an ice cream cake, where it's such a big wave
GMO.
that it's GMO that it takes over the whole market, half the guys, and that the wave is so big it burns the strain out, even though the strain might be a great strain.
Great strain. It's because it checks all the boxes.
There you go.
It hashes, it grows, she yields, you can sell
Outside,
her,
inside.
checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
And then everybody wants it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And if you can get one of those early, woo.
Yeah, that is the key.
That is the key. You know?
Man, that is the key. That's a game right there. For
One piece of game I'll give for all the kids that are gonna watch this and either are starting to cultivate somewhere else or have a small setup or something else is that it's always easier to create your own wave.
Mm.
And that this it'll be hard for you to jump on somebody else's wave and be successful in this business, you know? And you might become a great cultivator and that'll be okay. And people will bring you their wave because they want you to cultivate it for them. But it's easier to create your own. So if you go in your own direction and make something unique that's your own, then you can have your own space. And, trying to catch other people's waves is usually going to end in you being on the wrong side of it, since this is a game of timelines.
Wipe
So
out.
there you go. That's my 2 cents for the Utes.
And they
Talk
don't understand
about-
how deep that is that you just dropped. Just to be honest, that's so
Well,
deep.
Talk about some game on how to create your own wave.
Find something you like and that you're passionate about in that area, a avenue in a market, a certain SKU, a certain niche market, or a profile that you like in the plant, and just run with it. I say be authentic to your true self, because in any business, I think that's always what's going to be best, is when you're not trying to emulate something, but when you're just trying to be who you want to be. And we all take from other things because monkey see, monkey do, My favorite quote ever is bad artists copy and great artists steal, from Picasso, because that's what it is, bro. You know what I mean? And I see something that sparks my imagination and I just, oh, that makes sense,
Inspiration has to come from somewhere.
Exactly. And that's flattery.
No
bro.
one can deny that.
Yeah.
Even the best,
Yeah. That's flattery. Imitation is flattery anyway. That's like good looking out. You know what I mean? And Jordan came before Kobe, before, you know, that's just the natural progression as humans. But there's a million ways to create your own wave here, bro. You could do a different type of packaging on something that's that. You could reinvent something. You could hunt something different. You know, you could use outside sources to create a wave. You know what I mean? And that's up to you. But it definitely is just like, you know, I just say from a business standpoint, if you're going to actually be in the cannabis business, you definitely want to be creating something of your own than doing something else that, you know,
Everyone else is doing.
I mean, you got to make ends meet. No, I'm not saying don't run lemon cherry because that's all anybody wants to buy right now. But you know, I'm just saying that you'll seem to do better when you find something that is your own, you know, and you're at the beginning of it or in a group that created it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's limited right off rip. So you limit the production, meaning like with you having something, you can only get it through you.
Yeah.
So right now, if you don't, you know, even let's say even have 100 lights, it's still only through this one guy.
Yeah.
So
and that shit had to ramp up.
Yeah.
That could have took a year. There'd been a year of people waiting for it, building anticipation, you know?
And for the guys who have 2 to 4 to 6 to 12 lights at a house or at a spot or their homie spot, whatever it is, that's damn near you're giving them the best advice you can get, because focus in on you, make it your own, and create your own wave. I mean, bro, that's the recipe for success.
That was minimum 30% off top, fellas. You know what I'm saying? I just gave you 30% increase in business by telling you to go in your own direction, bro, because you're gonna be
dealing with something no one else can get.
No one else can get. You control
It's
the market.
come down
right?
to that.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro. And
Absolutely.
any small business, fucking 30, 50, 100% markup is that's the difference between succeeding and growing and staying where you're at or failing. So that's my 2 cents on it for everybody else. You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah. It's just a big difference, man. I mean, the industry is evolving and it's so crazy, bro. And every time, what flavors did you bring today? It's Wendy, and what other ones are you guys hunting right now?
What I brought was Wendy and Runts and some OZ Kush because that's what was in those bags. We got a whole bunch of new shit coming, and then obviously we have the foreign line, so we run different stuff for foreign than we do for Squints. But under the Squints line right now, I have an OG coming called Valley Girl. I have Wendy, which is like a different a different lemon cherry vibe, and then
It's different.
But
It's
with-
definitely different.
with
'cause-
gas.
and then
yeah, it's not just candy. It's different.
yeah, it's
Smells
different,
great,
but
man.
but similar and a close enough thing that's my best way to describe it. And then the Squints bag is still the rainbow chip, which is like just a really solid.
I like
Sure.
the rainbow chip.
It's a solid sherb. It's not a really heavy high, but it's good for new smokers or people that got shit to do during the day and can't be like, you know, really medicated. And then it always tastes good. It doesn't matter. I could give you smalls that have been sitting for 2 months and you could crush them up and roll it up and be like, what was that? Like that was better than half the jars that I just bought. You know what I mean? And it's like, she's a smoker, bro. She's a winner.
Yeah, shout out to Exotic Genetics, Mike. He's a badass breeder, man. It's a great
He
strain.
is, I've met Mike once. I told him when I met him this too, but he has some of the best flower producing gear as far as what I like as flower for growing of any breeder in the game. And, you know, I can pop 1 pack of his shit, Fem, and find a couple winners in it pretty much every time. There's been like 1 or 2 things that I've ever hunted from him that I didn't find something, and I didn't hunt a lot of it. It was maybe a couple of packs, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I said, no, that's not the one. But pretty much everything else is solid. And I mean solid, like we've been running it for a while, solid, and it was a really good pickup for us. So yeah, he makes great flower. And my favorite in the game as far as breeding flower is, you know?
Yeah, that's important to pick from the right guy. I mean, dude, you're about to spend a year, 6 months minimum hunting something, spending time on it.
Talk about the difference between, or you know, how your partnership works with Foreign Genetics. You know, how'd you guys link up, and how do you kind of balance everything, or how's the setup? Because shout out to Foreign Genetics, they're in the ZA Olympics box.
Mhm.
I know you're in the box.
We just entered one. So I had.
You were in the box prior though.
Yeah, I was in the
Yeah.
box prior. I'll talk about that a little bit, how that ended up happening too. And throw shouts to the homies for making that happen. But so me and the homies, we met through the shop. We met through Green Dragon and through that experience. And then we worked together there. Obviously, they brought work in. They were cultivating back then too. And we were very familiar with each other. And then one of my common close friends ended up being roommates with one of the foreign guys. And then at some point, I was running a spot by myself and a shop and some other shit. And I just had a lot on my plate and I needed help. And the opportunity presented itself for us to them to come in and help me with some manpower on that spot. And from there, organically, this collab, or what people think is a collab, which is really like us just working together. And then kind of these two brands during these last 3-4 years have kind of taken on a life of their own. And then we just said, well, this obviously works. You know what I mean? Like us as partners together, and let's see where it takes us and where we can go with it. You know what I mean? So it's not like Squints, Foreign Genetics is running Squints flower, or, you know what I mean? It's kind of like we have a partnership now that we're involved in everything, and branding and direction and what we think and where these things should go. And as much as I am hands-on in cultivation and every other thing of like my thoughts on things, I'm definitely the most heavy smoker of us. So my ideas on like where the game's going and evolving and that type of shit it's definitely on me to curate for these things, and like I said, this is a small democracy, but we all play our role and do things well together.
True partnership. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
And it happened naturally, you know what I mean? So they've definitely helped me, become a better cultivator and business owner, and definitely gave me the support system that I was lacking trying to do everything by myself. Because if you let me carry the whole team, I'll carry the whole fucking thing and just go to work every day by myself. And I have the personality type where I'm like, just get out of the way, I'll do it myself. And it's not the best for scaling a business, obviously, because, there's only so much you can do by yourself.
It's not sustainable.
It isn't. You know what I mean? I'll try and ram myself ragged. And that's kind of like,
I'll talk about that, to where
what I did to get into our partnership was I ran myself pretty much into the ground trying to do everything. I can do everything, but you can't do everything well. And there wasn't enough hours in the day. And it made me a barely squeaking by type of business. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's great now. We have two great brands, Squints and Foreign Genetics, two totally different looks on things. And, we have a shop opening in Pico Union, Pico in Vermont. It's going to be our first foreign Los Angeles store. It's a retail location. Obviously, you'll be able to go there and get all things Squints and Foreign Genetics. And we're excited, bro. We're excited to really see what these brands are, firsthand. Because
direct to consumer.
Yeah, I got my education obviously was retail to speed things up in this business. So it'll be cool to get back into retail and really firsthand see what works or not. Because I always can work off of that. And like right now I can see, but I'm removed from it still. But to actually touch people, you know what I mean? Be able to put something into production from 9 months and actually firsthand hand it to somebody in the mass and then see how they feel about it. That's invaluable. It's going to connect me back with my customer and my fan, and then really be able to grow from there. So that's exciting.
There's an exchanger that starts to happen where you can play this game where you're like, we're going to do a limited release of something we're hunting. We're going to do this. Like, you start to give access to those people that really mess with your brand heavy, where you can do cool stuff for them and go above and beyond now, which is cool stuff for you, like pheno hunting and letting them decide.
Yeah.
Putting a few new strains out and only doing a small batch for the store, because like some stores would be like, oh, we don't want a half pound of each strain. it's too much or it's, but you're like, we do what we want. We know our customer base. It's awesome, bro.
Yeah, it's great. So we're excited about that. So yeah, Pico Unionish area, Pico in Vermont.
When will it be open?
So we passed our final inspection. So, tentatively in the next month and a half to 2 months, I would say. I don't want to say too early, but we'll definitely be posting on social, and we'd like to have you guys come down for the grand opening party. Once we get situated, obviously, if you guys are around and available. And then Olympics this weekend.
Yep.
We're in the box.
Sherblato.
Yeah, the Sherblato.
Shit was smoking.
Yeah, so
shit was smoking. I knew when I smelled it, to be honest with you.
So everybody thought I was going to run with
smoke.
Wendy in the box because Wendy's my favorite, and I called her Wendy. So,
but that was in the second box, correct?
First,
the first box was Rainbow Chip. So this is the way that went down. I would have rather had Wendy in the first box as well. So, I get a call one day from Joe from LA Family Farms, and he says, "Chauncey, I have you on the line with my buddy Brian from Green Wolf. Somebody just backed out of the Olympics, and I had brought you up and told him that he should have the Wendy in the Olympics box." And I said, "Oh, hell yeah, bro. That's super dope. Thank you, Joe." I mean, you know what I mean? It was a big opportunity for us. And then Brian let me know that because somebody had backed out, this thing was already progressed really far along, and we needed something in metric to deliver this entry in 3 days. So,
ooh,
wow.
I went back to the spot and I said, well, we're going to package this Rainbow Chip.
Straight up.
And that was the best we had at the time to put in the box. And we said, fuck it, we'll put the Rainbow Chip in the Squints packaging and we'll run it in the box and see how it does. And I think we ended up taking...
It was good. I remember trying.
Smokes. Rainbow Chip always smokes. She's full proof. That wasn't the best run of her. She's been much better before. That was just what we had. And
3-day notice.
Yeah, 3-day notice.
And most growers wouldn't be able to do that. Wouldn't even be like, I don't got anything.
I mean, it even more complicates it because this is a recreational thing and it's on metric and it had to be packaged a certain way in 2 gram entries. So it was, but I was going to make sure that I went and hand packaged it myself to make sure that we got an entry in the next 3 days. You know what I mean? Because I thought it was a good opportunity for us to put something in the box. And so we did, and it got 3rd place best tasting, which is fuck it, cool,
Yep.
In my opinion, that's number one. That's the best factor.
Yeah, definitely, right? Because I'm a smoker and I smoke for taste as well. So that is, to me, it's the best thing to place in 100%. And it's podium, fuck it, we'll take it. And then I thought that was that. And I was like, cool, whatever. And then Sean Cron was asking me what we were going to enter in the finals. And I said, what finals? So we didn't win nothing. He said, no, man, just if you place, you get to go on. And I was like, for real? So I hit up Green Wolf and they were like, yeah, man, you get to enter something else. So now we'll get to the Sherblato story. So Sherblato was gifted to us by our friend Ryan, TCB Genetics. He's another valley cultivator that just crushes it and does his thing. And it's something that he bred, which is a Sunset 41, and it's a one-off because nobody else has it but us. And it's a really good Sunset 41. And she checks all the boxes, bro. She smokes. She's beautiful. She gets color. And she's what I think of as what people say. So it's the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
That is weed, bro. That's what Za is, bro. That's what everybody wants when they think of Za. They want that fucking Sunset 41. You get the Sherb and the gelato and it checks all the boxes. That's the one, So I took her up on the hill to Ego Clash. Shouts to all the 3rd Gen fam and Moonshine Melts out there, the big homie Brandon. Before COVID, I had met him at Ego Clash. Somebody took me with him. For those that don't know what Ego Clash is a competition up in Mendocino County on this beautiful property that Wendy owns. This woman from Mendocino County. She's cool as shit.
Wait, her name's Wendy?
Her name is Wendy. That's funny. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's a crazy coincidence. Yeah, so Wendy owns this property.
Brought you some Wendy.
She's cool as fuck, bro. She has this beautiful property winery, and this is where they hold Ego Clash. Ego Clash is an invitation only. You have to be invited.
Yeah, we still never got our invite, man. That's crazy.
4 categories. And this is the thing. When you come, there's no branding. You have to bring what it is. So I'll go through the entries. Mm-hmm. So he used to have BHO. He's not doing BHO anymore. It's full melt, it's rosin, and it's flour.
Damn.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get invited for a certain entry.
Flour.
And you go. and all of the flower. I think we had 33 people or something like around that amount. 33 of us went. We took a 2-ounce ball glass jar. You come with your entry in a ball glass jar, no sticker. You bring one side package for the tunnel where they do the award ceremony so people can see the entries. And then you guys collectively as entrants go into a room together and you guys smoke every single one. And then you vote right after you smoke it, right? You look at it, you see the jar, same jar, everybody sees the same jar. Everybody looks at it and there's no names on it. So it's numbered. That's it. It's a blind taste test, bro.
Oh.
And the best sense of the word. So if you guys plan on all the heady hash boys, if y'all can't go up on the hill and smoke fucking 32 hashes, don't show up, bro, because you got to smoke every single one of them. And you have to vote on it yourself. So you get invited to come and you sit there with all the big dogs in the hash world and full melt or rosin, whatever category, and you smoke every single entry and you vote on it after you smoke it. So it's the true champion of champions. Not only do you have to be invited by the culture, but then you got to go up on the hill and bring your entry and judge it yourself and see what's up. So I went with Sherblato. That was the best thing out of a room that we had at the time. We took it up on the hill and we ended up taking 3rd place flower Ego Clash with the Sherblato. And
wow.
And to be honest, I thought that it was the winner in my personal opinion. And then shouts to Valley B from 365 Canada. He ended up winning actually with this wedding pie. And then the other homie that was up there
is this Flower?
Is Flower in my category.
Got it.
And then the cat that got second was Weeds for the People up in Washington, I think.
Yeah.
And they won
homie.
2nd place with Shit's Fire. He's cool as hell too.
Yeah, bro.
Great guys.
Great guys.
And then 4th place was Wonder Brett with his pink Picasso right behind us. But there was all the big dogs were in that competition. Somebody had a jar in it if they weren't there personally themselves. So everything that you see packaged right now was probably there. And we took 3rd place with the Sherblato in a blind taste test. So when we got the opportunity for the championship round of the Olympics, everybody's like, "You're gonna enter the Wendy, huh? You're gonna enter the Wendy. It's fucking fire. You should do that one." And I decided that I wanted to give my partners an opportunity to put that brand on display as well. And also because I feel like it's a competition strain. That's what it is. I might like smoking Wendy better, but it doesn't check all of the boxes in the sense of how it's presented, how it looks, and how these things are judged. And I think Sherblato, when I think of ZA, that's what I think of is, Sunset 41, bro. What created fucking exotics, is that fucking connected designer weed, bro, is that fucking shit,
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it, let's run the Sherblato. So we'll see how it goes. You guys did the review on it. Obviously, you told me you liked
Loved
it.
it.
Fire.
It was
I
my
like
top
People,
3.
Yeah, people love it, bro.
Yeah.
So
Fire.
I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely beautiful, bro. We kept going back to it. I kept talking about when we were passing it back and forth. I was like, between the joint, it's just like immediate flavor.
It's solid, bro. Solid. It's
Yeah.
gassy. It works. It gets you high. It does
it's
everything. It looks good in the bag. That's those things, It's like
Right when I smelled it, I knew. I was like, yeah. This is gonna smoke good right here. It's one of those ones you really don't want to pass. That's when I know.
Exactly.
I'm like, hitting it. I'm like thinking about when I'm gonna pass it. Like, how many more times am I gonna hit it?
Once you
before I
give it to
pass
somebody
this
else,
shit?
it doesn't
Usually
come back and have the
I'm
same
not
flavor
passing.
profile that it had before. And everybody around could be like real smokers.
Yeah.
But you just know it's not the same. Because if I just enjoy this to myself and it's like
Yeah.
only my terps on its terps, then it's like, you know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
lack of a better word.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different,
Sitting by this guy and he's smoking something that, was whatever, trading it back and forth to speed up the process with that. And you could tell when I was like, just thinking in my head, like, damn, I want to keep hitting this one.
Yeah.
I don't want to grab that one right now. I already know it.
That's what's cool
Not
about the
smoking.
ZA Olympics box, though, is that if you, instead of doing it by yourself and just going through, because like I see some people just smoking through, it's like you have friends over and you do it, you can almost like, because now we're rolling 3 joints and you can really tell who's smoking and who's not.
That's
it's
dope.
not just one after another. It's like you pass it back and forth and you're like, yo, this one's crushing that one.
It's a really great Brian and the guys at Green Wolf did a great job. It's a great collection of brands. It's really good marketing. And it's really cool because it's the first rec competition to actually have that vibe where a real recreational smoker can go in and buy a competition box and really do it. Obviously High Times has done it with the judges kits previously. This is a cool, hip way to do it. And I think, obviously we were
lot of
very
quality
thankful to be
brands.
there. Biggest brands in the game, dog. That's
Yeah.
Murderer's Row of the fucking California fucking market, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty much. There's a couple missing for whatever reason, but that's it, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
Connected, Alien Labs. It has everybody, bro. That's creme de la creme of the fucking California things. And we just got lucky to shouts to Joe.
Yeah, for
Shouts
real.
to Joe from LA
Shout out to
Family
Joe,
Farms,
man.
dog.
Yeah,
he
I was
might
about
not
to
know
say
it,
that.
but,
Big Dog Joe.
I'll homie a
He-
bottle
he-
of champagne for sure.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. The
You know
amount
what I'm
of
saying?
favors that he's done for me and that he's
Yeah.
continuing to do right now. I mean, he's the person who's helped me with our rec build out. And he was like, yeah, I got you. And he's shown up for multiple meetings, like to be at the meeting, to be like, no, I would do this and help. The guy is one of the most solid guys in this whole industry.
He's a cool
I've
motherfucker.
ever
And he's
met.
a lead dude. And the first time we met, we just hit it off and talked about growing for about 2 hours at a dinner one night up in Santa Rosa for Hall of Flowers, I think it was. And he's solid as fuck. He knows his shit. And right away we clicked because we had like a 5-minute conversation. We both knew that each other got it. And then it just made us go like light speed on the back and forth ping pong of what we thought and how we like this and that. So it's cool. And then also, they got a solid brand. They put out really good flour, really good hash, really good products. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Joe's.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, dedicated his life to cannabis. He's one of the guys where he's taken any other career he's had that was very successful in construction and GC and all this.
And that's what I was
been
gonna
like,
say.
I'm going to do cannabis.
For a guy that builds rooms. So I'll tell you another story about before I had met Joe, about me on Instagram to Joe that is fucking hilarious because it's such clown shoes, but it makes you know that you got the right dude making the calls. Because when I first seen that dude's rooms, he had done something with the return of his ACs, and we had just built a big ass 50 light room that had ACs on the roof and had dropped in cooling. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so the units weren't inside the rooms anymore, so it had a different flow to it. And the returns were on the roof, right? For ours, that was returning into the AC. The drops and the returns were on the roof. And in his rooms, I noticed that he had the returns on the bottom under the table. And I was like, fuck. As soon as I seen it, I said, damn, we fucked up. And I'm sending a fucking Instagram message to my partner of Joe's returns in the thing. But if you're commenting on somebody else's shit, the message will go to the original sender. So I did it like 5 times to different people. And I'm just sending Joe's picture and the message back to Joe of, fuck, we fucked up. We should have done the returns like this.
Holy shit.
Joe's a nice
Joe
guy.
was actually getting the messages which is like, it's flattering. Obviously, he knows
Yeah.
that he did something really well. But what I say is that the guy knows his shit, bro. Because immediately there was like 3 things that I saw in his rooms was like, God damn it, I would have done that differently had I have seen this already. You know what I mean? Because it just clicked and made sense, So yeah,
Smart.
that was an interesting little Instagram tales of the DMs,
Straight
I
up.
took a picture of the exact same thing.
You did, right?
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
as a cultivator, when
The
you see
exact-
a genius idea, you're like, oh, that was fucking genius, bro.
Where I'm like, why would the? And I'm like, you don't mind? He's like, nope. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, we need to do that.
This makes
Yeah,
sense.
he's
Pull
great,
the air
man.
off the floor and put it back up,
Yeah.
For real.
Simple things. But yeah, he's a great all around cannabis entrepreneur.
Well, that's what the cannabis community really is it's this connection that a lot of these guys have. It's not these people think it's like, oh no, it's this negative thing that it's like, no, there is a community within a community. And that's the real cannabis community. And we get to end it with the Olympics party. Like, I mean, that's the best thing is like, we haven't had get-togethers for how long. And now all of us get to have a fun party get together at the end of this.
Yeah, it's going to be great because, everybody will be in the house pretty much.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited to see my boy Drew from Green Dog up in SAC. He hit me, so you're going to be at the Olympics. So I've been getting those messages. And it's cool, bro. It's cool for the actual culture to come together. And like, here's something. So the other day, Drew, Green Dog, they own the Outpost up in Santa Rosa, which is a great little store. It was their year anniversary. And like a bunch of big names in the industry came through. Doja was there, fucking Preferred Gardens, a lot of the homies and Ted from Alien Labs. Like you can see that like you wouldn't expect big name guys from, you know, obviously Drew's a big dog in the game too.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But still, to see somebody go to a 1-year anniversary just to show, you know, respect for this person's store and these big appearances is like, that's the real culture, bro. And
Yeah,
we do it because it's
absolutely.
an opportunity for us to come together and like even grow more. And
Mhm.
and there's not many businesses that are like that. You're not gonna fucking have the owner of Dr. Pepper coming with the owner of fucking Pepsi to fucking, they might go to a convention or something together, but they ain't going to like fucking to Dr. Pepper's store to celebrate the grand opening of it. That definitely ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're competing brands.
It's
And
a
in this
great way
space,
to
we
look
can-
at it.
We can compete alongside of each other and still, you know,
Win.
find a common ground, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part. So the Olympics party, June 11th. I'm excited to see how we ended up and to see everybody and, you know, just be happy to be there.
That is the best part about the community.
It's going to be a dope party. They do it right. You know, compared to a lot of cannabis events or parties or whatever, they do it like a celebration,
Yeah.
which is how it should be.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I've never
it'll
been
be
to the
dope.
Wisdom either, so I'm excited for that. I heard it's a cool venue. I'm not sure.
Downtown. It's real
Yeah.
different looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
I've
been
never
at
been.
night when it's all set up, but
Oh,
I just
really?
driving by
Okay.
during the day.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
kind of tell, like, you know, they
Yeah, I
got the
haven't
little
been either, so I'm
domes and
excited to
stuff,
see it.
you know?
I mean, I just think it's dope to like, obviously this we are part of a cultural thing. And when you take the ability to like enjoy the proceeds of the culture of like
Mhm.
the actual flower and us testing out new shit and everybody coming with a backpack of new strains, like that's the cool part, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you see Joe from LA Family Farms, Joe got a backpack, dog.
Yeah.
He got a backpack with jars.
Joe and George
Yeah, bro, of like new shit.
pull up
and
on you
fucking
quick.
and hash holes and hash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
They
like,
gift you big jars too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Bro.
Shout
Yeah,
out to
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
man.
and that's like, you know,
All the crews.
Yeah.
yeah, bro, that's dope. It's
Yeah.
cool to come with the backpack and be like, check this out, check this
Yeah.
out. You know,
Some of those
Especially from-
growers don't get out of the garden. That's their first time in 3-4 months.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a full time job. You know,
Mhm.
people got other things going on in their life. It's tough.
It
So
is.
these are really good opportunities for us to grow as a culture. And I just happy to be included in it. You know.
How do you balance family life with like cultivation and now like this rec business? Is it a difficult balance?
I just don't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If it's not the kids and the wife
Mhm.
and that's day in, day out life, work, kids, life. And then if I can find, like I told you, I just went and played a poker tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Vegas for like 4 days and I had to stay there an extra day because I made day 2 of the tournament. So that by myself, my wife's pregnant right now. It was like the last chance to get away probably where I'm not going to be able to do like, if there's not actual, like I'm doing a Sandlot appearance or something that is actual, I have to go to, then I'm just at home with them or taking them on a trip or doing something with them, you know?
Yeah.
There's no other balance. You can't,
But you
can't have a personal life as well, you know?
you
That
make
is my personal life.
you make balance with taking a trip, doing things like that, correct?
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah, it's because that shit is, you know, that has a time limit on it as well, like everything else. You know what I mean? And I only get, you know, you only get that age range of that child for that moment, and then it's gone forever. And unless you experience it firsthand, you know, you don't get to go back to it. So you have to make time if you wanna experience that. You know? Yeah.
It's a great
Absolutely.
way. Great way to look at it.
Talk
man.
about like, you know, your connection with the Sandlot brand and keep, you know, what have you done to like, you know, that's it's crazy that it's still involved and there's
Next
still
year's the
things going
30th
on.
anniversary. So
That's insane.
yeah, I
Huge.
just got hit up by somebody that we're probably gonna end up going to Wrigley and throwing out the first pitch and doing 7th inning stretch.
Damn,
Oh,
And I've never
Awesome.
been to Wrigley either.
that's dope.
So somebody just mentioned that to me, and I know like Fox always plans shit around that time because it's a good opportunity for them too. They did on the 20th and the 25th anniversary. We did really cool like Major League Baseball tours for those milestones, and that's really cool shit, bro. It's like just things that you don't ever get to experience or have happen. So yeah, I look forward to it, and that people still enjoy that and like embrace it.
How many baseball players, professional, they love it too. I
bro.
mean, every one of them that they
Yeah,
grew
I
up
can't
on
even-
that.
I-
It's crazy.
You
I
could
think
probably
we're, I
hit
think
any
we're
of
in the
them
Hall
up.
of Fame, dog. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
literally, I think there's, if we're not directly in, I think there's like Sandlot. I think it's sitting on the shelf in the Baseball Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
Wow.
We definitely had like a whole thing in the Louisville Slugger Museum and shit. but I think we're actually in Cooperstown too. And I'm sure it'll get like, inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Mm.
It's incredible, bro. It's
Yeah.
just how lucky and fortunate to be attached to something like that,
We talk about that a little bit more in episode 12.
Yeah.
How you kind of got involved in that role and everything.
Mhm.
What kind of evolved from that and like with acting? And then what did you like, when was it you decided like, you know what, I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to act?
I guess when realistically, I made a transition from like my mind going from acting to cannabis realistically in real time, or into just like acting was a hustle in itself. You know what I mean? In a business that I built as a childhood.
Enjoy it?
I don't like the business of entertainments per se as a go-to business. I love the opportunities that it presents, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not acting wasn't something that I wanted to grind out forever. And look, bro, I did it for 20 something years, bro. That's
A
if
career.
I live to 100, that's 1/5 of a lifetime. That's a career.
Yeah.
I got 2 pensions from SAG. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 10-year pensions. So yeah, I put in time as a child. I just started hella early. You know what I'm saying? And then it was definitely tough. I mean,
Because you were a child actor.
Yeah. And
'Cause
then
that's
I
totally
worked
different.
into an adult too. You know,
'Cause
I
I
worked into
couldn't-
my 20s.
I couldn't imagine really working at those ages, and you're getting worked. Like,
Oh yeah,
talk about that. You know, like
I
know
definitely
it's not
had a
all
way
just
different childhood than most people ever had. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There wasn't no school. I didn't go to school.
Okay.
Realistically,
Yeah,
I went to high school for 6 months, bro.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I went to Chatsworth for half of my 10th grade year. The year before I had homeschool and I was working all the time. And then after that, I went to some school in Hollywood that gives actor kids GED diplomas basically so that they can go work as an adult. Because once the change happens in entertainment, this is what happens. You work as a kid, and then once you're like 16, 17 years old and they can get a dude that's an adult to play you, you don't work no more because they're not going to send a kid and his guardian and a teacher when they're shooting in things. That's just too much money, bro. Unless it's a fucking big hit and it makes sense for them
Right.
to. But any run-of-the-mill child actor, they're going to hit a plateau and stop working because if you can't go on set by yourself and you can't be your own legal guardian, they're not going to spend 3 times the money for you. They're just not going to do it. It doesn't fit into the business side of things unless it's some like I said, super celebrity instances. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I got that so I can continue to work, and I continued working. So I was out of school, but yeah, I was just in and out. I never really had a school experience because I was constantly being pulled in or pulled out. And you do you're supposed to do school on set for 3 hours a day, but who fucking knows? You know what I mean? I mean, in homeschool, I'm smart, dog. Don't get me wrong. I'm book smart too. But I'd be knocking out like months worth of work in a few hours. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in homeschool in junior high and high school, like literally I could finish a fucking yearbook in a month and a half, probably realistically doing lesson plans all the way through, so nobody's there with me, but I technically have finished that, so I didn't have a regular, there wasn't no proms. There wasn't no regular milestones of a childhood's life,
It's probably relief kind of when you made that transition. It was kind of like put that behind you, and now was it more like you felt more authentic or more of like a realistic, like I see this as tangible, or like how was it like transitioning from?
It was my reality, you know what I
Okay.
mean? But I don't know if I would recommend it, you know what I mean?
It's
I don't
tough.
acting happened to me, you know what I mean? And I'm not even gonna say my mom made this happen. This was certain things lined up in certain places, and that's my life path, bro. I came over here and ended up in a whole different world. And thank God, obviously, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't, I was born in Pittsburgh, and then we moved to Dallas, and then I started acting there and came out to Cali for a pilot season when I was a kid and just never left. But who fucking knows where I would be if I had stayed in Texas or
Right.
ended up back in the Northeast somewhere. My life would be completely different. You know what I mean? So, but I wouldn't take my kids to go work. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in the same return, if my kids come to me and that's what they're interested in and that's what they want to do, then I will help them in the best of my power to fulfill their life goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't throw them in the water, so to speak, just out of my own, this is a business. Cause I seen what it does,
Yeah.
you know, it had effects, long lasting effects on everybody around me and my family. Because I was a business, and then it took other people their jobs to manage this business that was me or my career, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it all had an effect on all that. You know, my mother spent a good portion, 10 years or 15 years of you know, more or less managing my career, making sure I had to get to where I'm going. Well, that took a big ass block out of her life. Where when her kids were gone, she didn't really, you know, she didn't keep managing other actors. So that was like a big moment for her where, well, what do I do now? Because this is what I was doing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's definitely, you know, it has its pros and its cons, like anything else in life. That was my reality. I don't know. But I think it's the best reality for other people.
What was the scene like if you weren't going to high school and all that shit, and you're acting, you're in LA at this point?
I mean, I've been on my own since I had a fucking Harley at 15 and a half, bro. I was driving around on auditions myself.
Couldn't tell you much, huh?
Nobody could tell me shit, dog, ever in my entire life. What are you going to tell me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you got, I mean, at this point, you're out here in LA, you got influence, you got, you know,
yeah,
a
and it
lot
was
of
smaller back
relationships.
then because there was no social media. So the good part about that is that obviously I would have made a shit ton more money probably if there was, but at the same time, it was still pure. Because even though the industry kids hung out in the industry shit, I mean, unless you were somewhere where paparazzi, which wasn't much of at that time, it was still like Teen Beat type of days and like real magazines and editorials. So stories had to be sold to them basically anyway. So that was all real, you know, PR shit, you know,
it's all paid for.
The real world reality television thing hadn't happened yet. So it's different, but yeah, we just ran around and did what we want, drinking, smoking cigarettes, you know, living life, going on auditions when we did, working when we did. Everybody went in their own direction, you know? You can see how people fell off the cliff because there's nobody stopping you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not like anybody really knows what's going on when there's no social media. And now if like one of these reality kids that fucking is a big fucking multi-million-dollar machine, that shit ain't gonna happen to them. They're gonna grab him and be like, nah. You know, just enough to make it profitable, but come back, we're gonna lose the horse now, right?
It's the truth.
We don't need to be waking up to that headline.
For real.
So it's different, but it was cool, bro. I got to go do my own thing and experience, and then that's where I found out that, you know, acting wasn't for me. That's not what I was passionate about. Once again, it happened to me by chance. Somebody saw me somewhere. I was with my cousin, my girl cousin, my Aunt Karen. She was taking my girl cousin to some fucking talent agency in Dallas. And I was some little white boy with a fucking mullet with like hair down to my ass probably and cowboy boots running around. And they were like, damn, that kid's cute as fuck. We need to send him out on shit. And they talked my parents into it. And eventually, I just started booking everything you could do in Texas.
Damn.
And then we met some agent from LA and she was like, you need to come out for a pilot season, and came out and started booking shit here, and just, that was it. Off to the races, you know?
You still got any like actor homies and shit? People from the scene? And
I know a lot of people, bro, but I don't really.
You don't keep up with them?
I mean, we live totally different worlds.
Yeah,
bro.
now.
I saw you go on the podcast though with the other guy from Sandlot, the one that you're friends with.
Patrick.
Yeah, that was a
Patrick,
cool podcast, bro.
Yeah, all my guys that I've worked with, obviously the Sandlot guys, because we still work together and have a different type of bond. Business. But anybody that's in my age range or like within 10 years of me up and down, I've probably worked with them or knew them personally or did something with them. So yeah, I know a lot of cats. They would know me. It's not like, you know, if I seen Seth Rogen tomorrow, it was like, it's Chauncey. He'd be like, Chauncey! You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? It just, when you work with someone, you have that experience, you know?
No, it's dope.
Yeah, so it's cool. But we just live different lives now. Cannabis is it's its own machine, you know what I mean? And I've always been like pretty far out there. So actors never really wanted to fuck with me. I think Seth Rogen actually mentions it on like the behind the scenes of like the Freaks and Geeks like DVD box set. I think he does commentary on it too. So there's like a version where you can turn on the commentary. And when I come on screen, somebody told me about it. He's like, yeah, man, Chauncey, I ran into him at a strip club one day and he's like, something about, yeah, man, Chauncey's a real one. He's like, maybe we should just stop talking about this. And he just like moves on to something else on the box commentary.
Oh shit.
You know, like when we were doing Freaks and Geeks, Seth Rogen and Martin Starr and those cats, they were smoking already, but they were smoking like, I think they had told me what they had bought like a QP, a swag, like some seeded weed, you know, some stress. This is still back in the days, you know? And I was already on chronic, you know, probably like, I was like, here, bro, you can just buy 20s of chronic for me. Fucking, I got nice ass green bud, you know, triple A's, fucking hash plants and juicy fruits and shit. I was already in motion, bro. And that was like, I was still acting and shit.
That's funny as hell.
So,
On set.
So you were hooking them up.
Yeah, so I got high before shooting that show one time. I had bought this brand new bubbler, bro, from this smoke shop. This is a funny story, right? So we had bought a house in Palmdale. I lived in Palmdale at the time. And we were shooting Freaks and Geeks at, I forget what high school it was in the Valley, but it was some of the school stuff. And I had this Type R Integra at the time that I would race around in and shit. And I drove down. I had bought this brand new fucking bubbler, fucking fat ass bubbler, dog, like a big old, like, you know what I mean? Just a big old L, right? You know, fat ass bubbler. And I was like, so I had an early call time, but I didn't have to shoot till like 12. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go to makeup and then I'll get a burrito from the fucking truck and shit. And I'm gonna have time to go chill in my trailer afterwards before we even get on set, right? And I was like, I got down there early and I smoked a fat ass bowl before before Transpo is even there. Like Teamsters haven't even showed up to drop off trailers and shit. And I finally go and I walk up to the thing and I'm like walking up to the food truck to like go order and shit. And she's like, Chauncey, oh good, you're glad you're here. We got to get you right into makeup. We moved you up. And I was like, oh. So I'm fucking lit, dog. Like they put me in this fucking makeup chair. And it's just bright as fuck and all the makeup and hair and everybody's doing their thing and it's all vibrant. And I started having a panic attack, bro. And I was like, oh shit, this isn't going to go well.
Holy fuck.
Luckily I was able to get some food in me and then it was kind of like a little, you know, pump fake. But yeah, it was one of those moments where I was like, I shouldn't have done this.
Lost control of the wheel.
Lost control of the wheel, bro. That bubbler was a bad choice.
Start spinning out.
Can you imagine there's like all these people on
shit's
set.
moving. You're like,
yeah, it was a lot of moving parts. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on that. And it was like, you know, it was an NBC show when we were shooting. It was a big fucking show, bro. I mean,
you ever see people smoke on? Was smoking like a common thing on set?
No,
it isn't, right? That's why I wouldn't think so either.
Yeah. Smoking wasn't a common thing anywhere at that point. You know what I mean? You know, a little bit here and there. If you were like walking Venice Beach or like,
you still felt like you were doing something if you were like smoking a joint.
You were like huddling in like a circle with your homeboys while one of them hit the pipe out in public places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Super low pro and then holding it in and like ripping it up in the air at the beach. So it was still frowned upon, super frowned upon, you know?
Yeah.
Might have been going on a little bit in LA, but nobody was openly blazing like we see now, like where you just smell weed in the streets. It wasn't like that. Weed was trash back then anyway, so it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Less people want to try it.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about the LA market is that we seen production of indoor become a thing and take off with OG. The bad thing is that the guys up north, the culture was already there up in the hills and very little of that culture made it down all the way to here then. Like I'm sure there was people running up the hill to bring packs down.
It's a disconnect. Yeah.
But there was a big disconnect between the regular market, West Stress, you know what I'm saying? Mexican brick, and then the Canadian stuff. And that was that. And every now and then somebody might have a homegrown or somebody might have had a sack that came from somewhere else. But it was very, very limited. You know what I mean? Yeah. The purple didn't come around until much after that even, you know? So it was like, it was a very, very disconnect. So we started on bullshit. I started smoking bullshit weed, seed popping, talking graphics bongs, fucking some nasty shit, metal pipes, cans, apples, whatever the fuck we could get our hands on, bro.
Crazy.
The beginnings.
The beginnings.
People don't think about that when they think California, though. We've heard that from multiple people that like, yeah, it was all the same everywhere almost at that time. Those early years. Yeah.
Certain period of time.
Yeah. We didn't have a line to the hill. Not in LA. I mean, I was a kid, so, but I doubt there was even much of it. Like that market hadn't even presented itself yet, you know? Yeah.
Now the OG's coming back.
Yeah. The OG's coming back.
You know what I'm saying? Good 10-year wave.
That's what they say.
OG, OG will always come back because OG is that shit works, bro.
I mean, it's a staple.
Every
works.
time, you know what I'm saying?
It's a staple.
It's
yeah.
It went
It's
away.
not for
but,
every smoker though.
No, it's too strong for most smokers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's very, she's very tweaky, bro. She can go over that hill real fast on you and just be like
Panic attack.
OG makes me pinball, so I get productive and I can run around and do a million things. Some people can't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not of sound mind, she ain't the one, doggy. She'll have you talking to yourself somewhere else, questioning your life. You know what I mean? It's more of a
Straight
trip
up.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you're like over there in deep thought and you're like, Cody, you okay? And you're like, uh-huh. You might be
think I should've
rethinking like
smoked that shit.
a 5-year fucking window right here on repeat
Bro,
and
I'll
shit.
never
Yeah.
forget one time we were in London and I was on an empty stomach
Yeah.
and my boy had some crazy OG. I think Russian Assassin Boy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
That
Russian
shit's
Assassin
fucking
Boys.
fire.
Fat ass joint. Smoked it, then went in a cab to go get food. That cab ride the whole time, just driving on the other side of the road, like we were spinning around. Cab was packed. I was just like, holy shit.
Spun,
I shouldn't
dog.
have smoked that shit on
Yeah,
an
it
empty
was
stomach.
bad.
Empty stomach, like
Yeah.
In the back.
I was
of a
going
cab.
through it. I was going through
Oh
it for
yeah,
sure.
bro. She's a
OG's rough.
Yeah, she's
OG's
strong.
particular and
in
very
that
hard to grow.
Nightcap, it's perfect.
medicated, you know.
Yeah.
And if somebody
Even-
has
even
real
busting
pain
it down,
management,
some
stuff like
people-
that.
Some people
Mhm.
busting it down, mixing it with some Z, shit
That's
like
dope.
that. You can
Yeah.
kind of
For
Yeah,
pain
yeah.
management, though, like he's saying, it's
Yeah,
one
you
of the
gotta
best
have it.
things.
It's gonna
you
do
know?
its job every time.
Yeah, that's
know?
why that Prezi will give people panic attacks. You know,
The
like,
Where's it
reason
at?
the reason that the
It's coming
people are
back.
running in the dispensary and asking for the cheapest price and the highest THC percentage,
it's because OG.
and OG ain't really that one, but that's what they're really after is OG. You know what I'm saying? They're after, they go in because they want something that they think works every time and is going to be the most cost efficient, you know? And it didn't used to be like that, but that's what they're after actually, is something that no matter who you get it from, I'd rather be smoking bullshit OG from somebody than good something else from somebody else most of the time. And you know, that's how she became the market, is that like it was solid all the way through, you know? Little different representation of it. She works, she does her job, you know, tastes cool, smokes good, she's strong as fuck. Can't beat it.
Be good to see some good see some good batches coming in again.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you're gonna see is that like all of the really good cultivators.
Yeah,
You've
you
seen
see a
like
few
some
here and
brands
there.
that popped up, but
Yeah.
they're super like small. What you don't see is like all the big dogs that can really fuck up some OG that stopped running OG kind of, you know?
Yeah,
I
they
mean-
haven't started it again. You
Well,
ask me.
you know, like Cure Company Originals, like they've always
Right, they've held it
and
down for a
JG,
while.
they've always kept it down
Absolutely.
and had
Kept it
multiple
alive.
different OG.
At
the
the
cuts.
marathon.
That's
OG.
what they do.
Yeah.
All of that shit.
we
You know
have
what
the
I mean?
church cut. You ever heard of the church OG?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The church is like a famous OG cut. We
Yeah.
have that at the Diamond Mine, and then we also have PR, private reserve,
Yeah,
but like those are like coveted cuts, and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're getting sold to the rec market. But like Surge, like a bunch of people are hearing like, oh, church is available for clone,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coming because it's like it's a traditional
OG cut.
crazy gas OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy right now.
Yeah,
But you can
they'll
see
be
the
back where
demand.
you're gonna appreciate them again. Where you're like, because our shop was known for just having jars, bro. We didn't need nothing else. I had like 2 flavors on the shelf, bro. You get a couple sativas, you're gonna get Blue Dream. This is LA. If you had a good shop, you're
Blue
gonna get Blue
Dream, Green
Dream,
Crack.
Jack, Green Crack, maybe a sour diesel if somebody had one decent enough. Maybe some off-brand weirdo sativa that just was really nice, J1. And then you're gonna get, you know,
OG.
yeah, like 10, 15 jars of some fire ass OG and all different
Mhm.
versions of it, you know? And I might have a cookies, maybe 2, maybe a purple, maybe a glue. That was pretty much it, bro. You know what I mean? That was the lineup. And really people were coming because, yo, you got 8 good jars of OG. Yep. Quarter of that, 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 out the door. You know what I mean? And the cool part about it is that I think because of the cultivation methods and because before monkey see, monkey do, like before we could see what everybody else was doing, we all had our own little secret sauce, our
Mhm.
own little secret recipe, our own little fucking technique or thing that we did differently. And what it made was it made the same strain through multiple different expressions. And so every one of those OGs on the shelf, they were all different, bro.
Mhm.
One was sweeter, one was more gassy, one crowned a little bit. And there's not as much of slide in genetics because there was only a few cuts that were running around anyway. And they might have just been an off-brand version of each other, which is, you know, a branch of a branch. That's Josh D's story. You know what I'm saying? So the actual cultivation method was causing these things to shift. And hopefully that comes back in I think it is with the quality of things now, is that like everybody's quality focused. And what you'll find is those little differences will come back and play in the market because they actually do matter. You know what I mean? Like
It does.
running cocoa with this nutrient line with this lighting makes a different flower than running salt with rock wool with this lighting or vice versa, you know?
Yep. And then people get to do regenerative gardening and KNF, and you get to do permaculture, and you get to do all these crazy soil techniques where you're literally pulling the leaves and letting them grow and decompose into the soil. And I love people doing that because then now you get to try that. You get to try this and be like, is this better? I just paid $1,600 an ounce for this. Is it better than this $400 ounce that was hydroponically great? You know, and you get that as a consumer, you get to pick.
Yeah. I mean, you won't on the rec market.
That was never before. Yeah.
Yeah. That shit ain't gonna pass testing.
Yeah, see, that's what's funny. And that's what's funny is that it's like, there you go. And that's another discussion to be had. For,
Yeah, that shit ain't gonna pass testing.
That's a
It doesn't pass microbial. I mean, you're just entering microbes into the fucking, that's the whole thing. You know, it's like a biodegradable method of farming. That shit ain't gonna hit the shelf most times. Not productively. It's can't be done. Even a lot of the big cocoa guys run Rockwool now because that shit be hit or miss, bro. Cocoa fails for heavy metals and fails for microbial sometimes. By itself, coming from the manufacturer, it was nothing you did.
Brewed
you just
teas.
popped the whole fucking room. You know what I'm saying? And it might, you know, obviously, I don't think the testing needs to be as strict as it is. You know?
Agreed.
I mean, fucking Marlboro fails every test known to man. Guarantee. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that people should go out and smoke cigarettes. It's obviously a poisonous product, even though I have been known to partake.
But the strictest testing ever is for cannabis.
For cannabis.
The most strictest.
So overregulated, it's crazy.
That and pharmaceuticals, maybe.
Which is cool. Fuck it, overregulate us. It'll just make us get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then when the reins get pulled back, you know, it's actually made us grow because a lot of the old things that we used to do, we don't have to do anymore. Once we figured out how to use the list and not use pesticides or fungicides, fuck, bro, my life got way easier now. It was a little bit of a learning curve, but now that we know, we were fucking up. So I'm a big fan of big ag into the game too, because I've seen it firsthand that it's changed everything. You know what I mean? And I now I'm open to it more so than we were coming from, you know, brewing our own witches brew batches and fucking trash cans to hand water to plants like we come from, you know? I'm all for the big ag stuff because obviously, you know, it's easy to see.
They have to
They're
control.
going about this all wrong.
Yeah, well, they're like trying to control 50 acres of squash.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're getting PM. And you're like, well, how do they deal with it? They're like micronized sulfur. And you're like, huh? We never even heard of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like these small techniques that happen that big ag uses that saves gardeners like us instead of what people were telling us the wrong shit, or they're giving us stuff that's like he's saying recipes. Oh, I got a recipe for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Versus like, what is this huge garden growing stuff that people are eating? What do they use? You know, it's such a big difference. But I mean, night and day.
But you're right. The cool part is that there is a marketplace now where somebody can actually take the time to do a regenerative soil or to do an indoor soil bed room and to give you another look, because soil, you know, when soil flower is done well, you're going to be hard pressed to find some more terpy soil flower. You know what I mean?
710 Labs is a great one to go to for that. They do that one room that they release once in a while. That's their like, you know, soil room. It's pretty cool to try.
It's great flower. Yeah. I mean, look, like, you know, most of the best hash comes from that shit's sun grown, bro. Something different. And that makes a different kind of hash than indoor will ever make. You know what I mean? And, just part of the fucking coming from the soil, bro. It's real. That's real life. You know what I mean? We can try to emulate that as much as possible, but like the earth is the earth, bro. This is the motherland. You know what I mean? Anything coming from that in certain little microclimates is just going to be, you can't recreate like Southern Humboldt, Mendocino County climate and certain like valleys and moisture barriers and things that happen up there. Like, so this greenhouse and outdoor cannabis is as good as anything in the world because of this certain microclimate. And you'd be hard pressed to find better tasting weed. You know what I'm saying? And it just happens there. Indoor, we have to maneuver a little bit differently because, you know, there's certain things that you can't recreate.
Yeah. Do you have aspirations to really get into the hash market now? I hear you kind of talking about it a little bit. You guys thinking about doing something?
I mean, we have a type 6, so we make hash at the spot. It's not my lane.
Okay.
I'll probably have hash on the market and different SKUs with hash, and there'll be collabs from other people to wash them. You know, it's a good idea. I don't think I'm gonna spend much time in a cold room, bro.
Yeah.
It's just not what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cultivate. I'm gonna stay where I stay, and somebody else will handle that. You know, and I'd love to bring different hash makers through our spot and do like one-off batch, like private brews with certain people. You know what I mean? Which is cool. Like them coming and doing like a really dope, like single old school wash in a can, and doing certain little collabs like that. That's dope.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. I mean, I come from the BHO market, so we're used to like real oil. So that's more what I know.
What's a cool thing too with Foreign Man is a lot of people don't know is you guys hire real cultivators like Mel from Green Dragon. I saw is over there now. And like, I see you guys pick up these guys that are known as like, oh, that guy's a real grower. He knows what he's doing. And then I see him link up with you guys. This is like the second one now in a row where I've watched a real grower leave somewhere and then go link up with you guys. And I'm like, damn, they know how to grab talent.
Well, once again, it's just a Manny thing because we're Green Dragon number 2, basically. So everybody kind of filters out and ends up back with the other side of the coin. You know what I mean? So that's closely being linked to that those crews and things. You know what I mean? But but yeah, they all hit up Chauncey. But no, Melvin's great, bro. That and like I said, it's a blessing to like have people looking to something didn't work out somewhere else and looking to switch teams with us. And we know talent, and we know that obviously if they come from the Dragon or from that pool that they're with the program. We already know that they're with the program that we come from, basically. So that'd be an easy fit. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, Mel's doing great. He's pretty much like completely overseeing our rec spot in Van Nuys. So we're there like monitoring everything, obviously, and pointing in directions, but he's definitely turning the knobs day to day.
I just love the collaboration because most people, they just hire a guy for $8 an hour. It's like, no, you guys, I just watch talent come to, and I'm like, man, they know that people, like, it's like a magnet for talent, it's like, there goes another guy that's a great grower. Boom. There's another, now the team's, it's like a transformer.
It's cool.
Right.
And I think that like, it's a blessing to be somewhere that somebody looks forward to going to build something with, right? So it's like, it's not being a so established company that talent doesn't really want to go there because there is no upward mobility. And you know that it's a dead end type of thing, right? So you're going to be under this brand and whether people know or not. But with us, we're still in a place where talent sees that there's a big opportunity for, movement. And, I think that for some smaller cultivators that are really good at their craft, don't be afraid to hook up with the connected or like one of these people that can give you a really big opportunity, because whether people know it or not in life, a lot of people think that there's, if you go above them, in my experience, if you go above and beyond at whatever you do, then like, what do they say? The man that does more than what he's paid for soon gets paid for more than what he does, right? Because you take pride in whatever it is. And like when I was running Manny's company, I treated that shit like it was mine. And that was, every decision was made off of me thinking about not only like letting Manny down, but also how I would feel that like, this is a representation of myself now that I'm attached to, And we would want somebody that's coming to work every day knowing that like, you're representing the company now. And it's a big deal, bro. Like, it's cool that they want to come and put that suit on and then head out the door and try to do great things. So yeah, we're appreciative. Yeah. Mel's been crushing it. It's been a blessing. Anytime you can get a guy that's good. Yeah. People always think that we as humans think that people don't want us to succeed, and it's something I learned from acting, that like the actors are always trying to get past the casting director. You're always trying to get the producers, always trying to get the directors, always trying to get past the doorman, right? The entry level. In reality, we have it all fucked up because the doorman is just trying to fill a seat. And he hopes every time that somebody walks in the door that you're that motherfucker. It's one less thing to do. All right, cool. We found that. Let's move on down the line, because they're just trying to fill a seat, right? But mentally, we think that they're the problem or they're the one in the way when it's really our greatest asset, So it's cool that, people should always go in with an open heart and know that if we feel like that you can take on this role and exceed it to the better than what we can do ourselves, Great, bro. Next, I'm on some other shit and I don't even have to worry about it. That shit's on fucking float now and I'm going to the next thing, right? Because as business management, our time is just limited to what we can put in front of us. And I don't want to have to put that in front of me if I could be doing something else, you know?
Damn.
So
I love that, bro.
Kids got to keep an open mind, you know?
Yeah,
and really have like, you know, I started in this business as a bud tender. Burner started in this business as a bud tender, if I'm not mistaken.
Totally agree. Yep.
Bro. The bud tender has the first $1 billion brand, the first real staple in the business, bro. The bud tender. You know what I'm saying? He's the one on the floor seeing all the plays. And that's what it is, bro. Anybody in the country can go get a bud tender position. Just know that empires have been built from behind the counter, bro. When it's all said and done, our brands, and we win awards and we do this, I can go sit behind Manny's counter and tell him that, yo, I did all this shit from right there, right where you're standing right now. Literally. You know what I mean? Play by play. So, you know, just get in there and fucking pour your heart out and you'll do well.
It's powerful.
Cannabis is wide open for everybody. You know what I mean?
Mad game.
Yeah, that is.
Any last shout outs, bro?
You know, shouts to my partners, big up Olympics, all the homies, everybody knows who they are. Appreciate you guys. I love this platform and what you guys do. And, you know, Foreign LA coming soon, you know, and then just our socials. We'll keep you up to date with what we got going on. Looking forward to hearing from everybody and, you know, just happy to be here, dog.
Where do they find you?
At Squints, just spelled the regular way, SQUINTS, on Instagram, and then at Foreign Genetics for the other brand. And, you know, if you know, you know.
Yeah, pay attention. Go by the release of the new store. I see you posting pictures here and there.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's
The shop's
you
dope.
guys went all out.
Yeah, shop's dope. So
All
we got somebody putting dope ass artwork in there. The homie Eddie. He's gonna have dope ass art on the walls. It's the Foreign branded shop, so it's clean as a whistle because you know my boys, they do just solid fucking clean stuff. It's high end, bro. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get back in there and really you know, direct to patient, be able to tell our story and give our brand. Also, From the Earth, our homies, Jason and Kintu down there in Santa Ana. We also have a permanent pop-up in their store, From the Earth in Santa Ana. So if you're in the OC area and you want to get a little piece of the Foreign or the Squints lifestyle, we have like a little shop built there so that you can see our branding and our merch, and also a video that's playing in the background about ourselves and stuff, and about, you know, some like visionary type stuff. So definitely go in there, ask them for some merch if you guys grab some Ace, and that's a good home base for us as well.
You can go there and get the Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy will be there.
Oh,
they keep
fire.
us. We keep them stocked. So that's we have an exclusive with them in Santa Ana. So the only Santa Ana shop that you can go get it at. And then you know, we're other places in the state. San Diego. We're working on more northern distribution to get like SAC and San Francisco situated. I definitely want to hit every market. Central Valley as well. You know, I know we're in all the Cookies retail stores. So La Mesa, Berners Merced, Hayward, Stockton. Is it Stockton? No, it's Barstow. No,
I think there's one in Stockton.
One in Reading.
Reading. No, but what's their other store? Is it Berners Merced and then oh shit. Well,
I know there's Hate. He's got so many at this point. It's wild.
Yeah.
But
So
that just shows you
spots.
going. What about the Sherblotto? Was that just, did you do a release of that or no? Is that just Olympics?
That's so that'll be like our regular staple strain from
Fire.
Foreign going forward for now. We have tons of rooms of it coming, and I kind of you know, decided that we should you know, for the public market outside of our store, we should definitely do a couple things really well, and Sherblotto's a winner, bro, and she'll be a staple in the Foreign Genetics line for the foreseeable future for sure.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm a fan. You know, I took it up the hill for a reason, bro. I wasn't gonna go up on the hill with Big Dog and fucking bring a jar of something that I wasn't happy with, and I said, "That's the one." You know what I mean? And you know, we ended up podium, so that's cool.
Well, you know, it's smoking. It's definitely smoking.
I'll definitely we got to get you guys on the hill next year for Ego Clash for sure, you know?
Would love
He does
that.
it in Spain as well, but like coming up to Mendocino.
Different experience.
Yeah. And it's, it's cold and it's Northern Cal in the fucking winter. That shit's unforgiving. It's a long day, but it's a fucking beautiful experience. And it's something that you guys should definitely be involved in and document because it's an amazing thing. There's nothing like it for the culture really. And blind taste test, bro. Like,
I like that.
That's awesome.
I like that part a lot.
Put your nuts on the table, Holmes. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You got to come from wherever you come from, doing whatever you do, and bring your fucking jar, dog.
Probably the rawest format of a competition in existence for cannabis, for sure.
Bro. Because we know that, and you can't do that with everything.
No.
But with cannabis, it's the perfect way to say, nah, bro, this shit was just a random jar. Only one that knew what your entry was you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when my jar comes
it's a
around.
Number.
But nobody else does.
Yeah, not
so
even
nobody else knows. There's no connection to it. It's just
you get to hear them. You get to hear people smoking your stuff and
you
trying it out,
know.
and you might see it and know based off the look, but now you get to
these aren't
think about
just
that.
anybody's.
Yeah,
these are the creme de la creme invitation. I mean, I'm sure there's some missing pieces of like big dogs in the game, but for the most part, these are all very well established, respected culturally brands. And our culture is unforgiving, bro. It doesn't care. You can't buy this. You can try, you can try to attach things to certain sauce, but at the end of the game, we know what it is when we sit down and talk to each other, bro. How long does it take you to figure out if somebody really is in the business or not? That's why me and Joe from LA Family Farms hit it off so quick. It's because we're like, pointing at each other like Spider-Man. Oh, this fool actually grows weed. Cool. Now we can chop it up,
Absolutely.
I'll quit ranting. My bad.
No, we could do this all day.
You killed it, man. We knew you would.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming through for real.
Thank you for having me. Shouts to everybody. Appreciate the first Smoke of the Day family and all the smokers out there. Thank you. And, keep it lit.
You already know, man. True Game from Squints, episode 50, first Smoke of the Day. We're out. Peace. What's up? I want to take a second to talk about Grow Generation, the largest hydroponic retailer in the country. Over 60 stores nationwide. Go to growgeneration.com and enter in the code FIRSTSMOKE. Become a part of the family. Let's go where the pros go to grow.
Hey, calling all breeders and growers to the world's largest online seed bank, NeptuneSeedBank.com. Check out this. I got goodies from all the best breeders in the market. To go here and change your game in your garden, go to NeptuneSeedBank.com. You can get Blackleaf and you can get all the best breeders in the game. NeptuneSeedBank.com. First Smoke of the Day sent you.
Yo, welcome to the Diamond Mine. The DiamondMine.LA, California source for boutique genetics. Powered by yours truly, Blackleaf. And you know what that means? That means I'm bringing my best genetics into this. I'm bringing stuff I've been hiding, harboring away, stuff I haven't wanted to let out. We're bringing all that into the DiamondMine.LA, and we're going to offer that to California. Go on our website, hit the newsletter, and see if you can rock with us. Get on board with some of our genetics and change your DiamondMine.LA, powered by
We're here holding Power SI, and we want to talk a little bit about what this can do for your garden.
It's a game-changing product I use in my garden. Foliar, res feeds. I recommend it to all growers. This is a game changer.
Go to Power SI and enter in the code FIRSTSMOKE to get a discount. Yo, we're right here at TLC Collective, home of the Jungle Boys, where they've been playing with fire since 2006, right here in Los Angeles, California. It's at Jungle Boys on all social media, jungleboys.com, and if you want to see for yourself, come right here to TLC Collective, man. Let's check it out.